This one's wife. Ingriftus. No kids. Hey, Dad, why do I have to go back in the cupboard again?
Oh, sorry, Archie. Yeah, me and your mum are going away again.
Again?
Yeah, going to the Invictus Games, you know. I'm in charge of it all. Very important.
What's that?
Oh, well, it's where people who have fought in the army and so on, they compete in some games against one another, and I hand out prizes.
Oh, that sounds really interesting, Dad. I'd love to go and watch that.
Oh, yeah, I would think you'd quite enjoy it, actually, son. And you too, Lilibet. But your mum says you're not allowed to go, so come on, into the cupboard with you.
Probably a relatively accurate recollection of what's occurring at Monty Shit Show, as this one's wife and Harry have jetted off to Vancouver for the Ingriftus Games. Undoubtedly, we will witness various attempts by this one's wife to make it all about her. Stay tuned, as she will not disappoint in that regard. But it also bears commentary about the fact that yet again they have jetted off somewhere without their children. They've been to New York on multiple occasions without their kids. They've been seen in Portugal without their kids. They went to Jamaica without their kids. They went to Nigeria without their kids. They went to Colombia without their kids. And there are other instances before. This time it would appear that the milkshakes have been organised early doors. You may recall when this one's wife trotted up at Dusseldorf, she didn't arrive with Harry. Oh no. The Queen, in her own mind, needed to ensure that she made her own grand entrance by turning up a little late and gushing about the fact that she was late because she had to ensure that the children got their milkshakes, or some other revision of history bollocks like that. Well, it would appear that this one's wife has decided that on this occasion the nanny can get on with that, because it's not going to delay her appearance, because she couldn't wait to skedaddle from Monty Shit Show or wherever it is that she lives and join Harry on this latest freebie to go to the Ingriftus Games. For somebody who regularly wants the world to know about the fact that she says, as a mum, but doesn't understand what a lunchbox is for, this one's wife, of course, knows what a lunchbox is for. She only said that because she doesn't know how to relate in such situations. This one's wife doesn't want to be involved with her children, and we have seen that repeatedly, with the fact that time and time again her and her husband have jetted off to other places and have never taken them with them. Think about it. You're wealthy. You also have access to go to various interesting places around the world. Places in the country that you live, New York, for example. You're able to go to Canada, to go to Whistler, to go to Vancouver. You've been able to go to Colombia, to Nigeria, to the United Kingdom, to Germany, to Portugal, to the Caribbean, and other places besides. There are some children who, trapped in poverty, are lucky if they even get to leave the town that they live in. And you might think that that's odd, but it is the case in certain industrialized nations that there are children who will be lucky if they ever get to go anywhere other than the town that they live in, because their parents can't afford holidays and aren't particularly minded to take them places, as a consequence perhaps of their own problems and a lack of economic ability to do so. And yet, here we are, with two children who purportedly exist, who are the children of a wealthy couple, a well-connected couple, a couple that still has the ability to go to lots of different places. Any parent with emotional empathy would naturally want those children to experience these things. Indeed, you would prefer to have your children with you. You can look after them. They are your children. As I have witnessed from others, you have a sense of obligation and accountability to your children because, well, they are your children. And having such an opportunity that so few would have to jet around the world and go to interesting places, I imagine that many of you, if you were in a similar position, would love to take your children to these different places around the world to provide them with this vast array of experiences, to not only have the thrill of flying in a private jet and being shuttled as an important person via SUVs, but to be exposed to these differing cultures, to see different sights, to be part of your endeavours. Would you not be proud to share what you are doing with your child? I'm sure many of you have been asked about what you do for a job, and you like to tell your children about it. They're interested, and you're interested in them learning, but not these two. This one's wife and Harry have appeared, and it's been confirmed that the children haven't gone with them. So chalk that up on a list of events that Archie and Lilibet have not been allowed to go to. They are, of course, just commodities, utilised by this one's wife to be showed off when she deems fit, and the rest of the time they are an inconvenience. Because to the narcissist, that is what children are. Whilst there are some narcissists that parade their children around and commodify them in that respect, utilising them to show off a facade of being a good parent, to acquire the character traits of the children with regard to what they achieve, this one's wife doesn't do so. She doesn't do so because the children will take the limelight away from her. There are two major problems that her children present, assuming that you accept that they exist. The first is that because she's kept them hidden for such a long time, in order perhaps to increase their currency, this has backfired because it means there'd be such a curiosity about them if they were actually seen, filmed at an event interacting with their parents, that the limelight would be taken away from this one's wife, which, as you know, amounts to a huge threat to her control. Secondly, she just doesn't know how to handle children. Because she has no emotional empathy and her cognitive empathy misfires, it's likely that the children haven't experienced a proper maternal upbringing and therefore may well prove resistant to her attempts to discipline them, and also one suspects that they don't spend much time around her anyway, as I've explained in parts passing. The consequence of this is that if she were to appear in public with them, they may well not behave with her in an appropriate way. I don't necessarily mean that they'll be misbehaved, for instance, picking up a cookie and throwing it across the room at somebody, but rather she'll want them to be all loving around her, that they're doing what she tells them to do, that they smile and wave at the appropriate time and look up to her with googly eyes of admiration. But it's likely that they wouldn't do so because she spends so little time with them and she hasn't forged an appropriate bond with them. And therefore, in the circumstances, the image that she wants to project would not occur, and there's also the risk that they might not come to her call, that they're not at her beck and call, and in the circumstances that also amounts to a threat to control. Accordingly, this self-absorbed narcissist wants to ensure that all of the spotlights are on her, hence the children can't detract from that, and her narcissism recognises that the image of, as a mum, could well be dented by their appearance in public with her, therefore it's better not to do it. She can control Harry, and therefore milks the fuel, maintains the control, and manages the facade. And once again, the children are a no-show. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.